Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum, physics students and enthusiasts. In today's episode, we analyze spherical capacitor with vacuum between its conducting shells and a given capacitance. So join me, watch and learn as we explore some of its properties. Problem is, a spherical capacitor has vacuum between its conducting shells and a capacitance of 125 picofarad. The outer shell has inner radius 9.00 centimeters. Question letter A. What is the outer radius of the inner shell? If the potential of the inner shell is 355 volts higher than the potential of the outer shell, what are letter B, the capacitor charge, and letter C, the surface charge densities on the inner and outer shells? So, as emphasized in figure 1, we have the schematic diagram of the spherical capacitor. The outer shell is the what we call negatively charged surface, and the inner shell is the positively charged surface. So, also indicated in the diagram are the two radii, right? We have the outer radius of the inner shell, right? And the inner radius of the outer shell. So we are given the capacitance of this spherical capacitor, denoted by capital C, equal to 125 picofarad, or that's equivalent to 125 times 10 to the negative 12 farad. The inner radius of the outer shell, denoted by small r sub b, equal to 9.00 centimeters. And then we are also given the potential difference between the positive inner shell and the negative outer shell, denoted by capital V sub AB, right, equal to 355 volts. And our target variable in part A, right, is the outer radius of the positive inner shell, denoted by small r sub A. In part B, our target variable is the capacitor charge, big Q. And in part C, our goal is to determine the surface charge densities in the inner shell and the outer shell. All right, so the symbol, small letter delta, sub 1 represents the surface charge density in the inner shell, while delta sub 2 represents the surface charge density in the outer shell. Right? So going into our computations, starting with determining an expression for the potential difference, capital B sub AB, which can also be written as B sub A minus B sub B. Also, you must recall that capacitance, right, in a vacuum can be expressed as the product of the electric constant epsilon naught, also known as the permittivity of free space. Then that is multiplied by the surface area, capital A sub A, all right? The subscript A refers to the inner shell, right? So that will also be divided by the outer radius RA. This is for the inner shell. And for the outer shell, the capacitance C sub B is just equal to the product of epsilon naught, capital A sub B, and divided by R sub B. All right? So the potential difference, capital B sub AB, can be expressed simply in this equation. B sub AB is equal to big Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught times R sub A minus Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught times RB. So each of these terms represents the electric potential, okay, on the surface of the inner shell and on the surface of the outer shell. Notice that these two terms contain both big Q and 4 pi epsilon naught. So we might as well factor them out and come up with a more simplified expression for capital B sub AB. Either big Q to be divided by 4 pi epsilon naught and then multiplied by 1 over RA minus 1 over RB. Or that can also be the same or equal to big Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, right? And to be multiplied by the ratio RB minus RA over RA times RB. So from this equation for the potential difference, capital B sub AB, we can also express the capacitance, right, in terms of uh, the two radii. There is the capacitance in the capacitor, which is equal to the capacitor charge big Q divided by the potential difference B sub AB, or that is equal to 4 pi times epsilon naught, right, multiplied by the ratio RA times RB divided by RB minus RA, right? The big Q already cancels out. That's why this is our working formula, right, to determine R sub A, because the capacitance is given and the inward radius of the outer shell is also given, right? Substituting our quantities, we get a 125 raised to the negative 12 farad, right? 125 picofarad is already converted to farad here. So we equate that to 4 pi multiplied by the epsilon naught, also known as the permittivity of free space, equal to 8.85 raised to the negative 12 farad per meter. All right? And then multiplied by the unknown variable R sub A, right? Also multiplied by the given value of R sub B, 9.00, raised to the negative 2 meters. Then divided by 9.00 times 10 to the negative 2 meter, that's R sub B, minus R sub A. When simplified, we actually cross multiply, right? 125 raised to the negative 12 farad multiplied by 9.00 raised to the negative 2 meters. So it will give us 1,130 raised to the negative 14 farad meter. And then minus 125 raised to the negative 12 farad times R sub A. Then equated to 1.00 raised to the negative 11 farad RA. Mhm. So when we simplify that equation, it becomes 1,130 raised to the negative 14 farad meter equals 135 times 10 to the negative 12 farad times the unknown variable R sub A. So isolating R sub A and computing for that, we get 1,130 times 10 to the negative 14 farad meter divided by 135 raised to the negative 12 farad. So we eventually get, all right, the value of RA, right, or the outer radius of the inner shell equal to 8.37 raised to the negative 2 meters in three significant figures. And then we proceed to uh, finding the capacitor charge big Q, right? Which is simply the product of the capacitance and the potential difference, capital B sub AB. That is, big Q equals 125 raised to the negative 12 farad times 355 volts. So the capacitor charge big Q is equal to 4.44 raised to the negative 8 coulomb, also rounded to three significant figures. In part C, computing the surface charge density in the inner shell, that is denoted by small letter delta, all right? So for the inner shell, the surface charge density is determined by just dividing the value or the amount of uh, capacitor charge big Q, okay, by the surface area capital A, or that's the same as 4 pi times the square of the what we call outer radius, okay, of the inner shell, or r sub a squared. So when you substitute, delta sub a equals 4.44 raised to the negative 8 coulomb, and then divided by the product of 4 pi and the square of 8.37 raised to the negative 2 meters. So when you do our math, this simplifies to 4.44 raised to the negative 8 coulomb divided by 8.80 times 10 to the negative 2 meters squared. Or, that is, delta sub A equals positive 5.05 times 10 to the negative 7 coulomb per meter squared. Right? It is positive because, as specified in the problem, the charge that is distributed, okay, in the surface of the inner shell, all right, is positive. And last but not the least, computing the surface charge density, delta sub 2 in the outer shell, using the same formula, big Q divided by 4 pi multiplied with the square of the inner radius of the outer shell, r sub b. Substituting, delta sub 2 is equal to negative 4.44 raised to the negative 8 coulomb. It's negative because the outer shell, okay, or the charge that is distributed uniformly on the surface of the outer shells, right, is negative. So divided by the product of the square of r sub b, 9.00 raised to the negative 2 meter and 4 pi, okay, we get or that is simplified first to negative 4.44 raised to the negative 8 coulomb, then divided by 1.02 raised to the negative 1 meter squared. So finally, we arrive at the value of delta sub 2 equal to negative 4.35 raised to the negative 7 coulomb per meter squared. All right. The surface charge density is also negative, right? Because the value or the sign of the charge big Q is negative, meaning the surface of the outer shell, okay, has negative charges. So that concludes our tutorial for this topic. Till the next episode, mabuhay and mashallah. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alhamdulillah.